Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? My name is Mike, and welcome to TrendSpider Live. Today, we got a ton and ton of earnings coming up after the bell. We got Robinhood, we got ARM, AppLovin, QCOM, IONQ, Fortinet, which is FTNT, Dutch Bros, BROS, Root. So it's going to be a great time. If you guys are out there in the chat, please go ahead and say what's up. Love to see everybody joining today. But yeah, I have, as you can see, 9 charts on my screen, and that's still not all the earnings that are reporting today. Let me go ahead and take a look and see what times they're coming out. Let's go to the scheduled lives I have here. Yeah, we even have HubSpot reporting. We have Elf. We have Joby. Tons and tons of reports coming out today, guys. So we have Snapchat even as well. Let's pull out a couple of those. Let's pull up Snapchat here too. Yeah, looks like that one's coming down into close here. Ooh, pretty good. But let's see how the markets are shaping up going into close. QCOM is tanking right now. At least I have the 1 minute charts up right now. So, it's going to be pretty fast moving charts right here. We got HOOD at the top left corner over here. Let me know how you guys can see this, by the way. I know if you guys are on a small screen, maybe this is too many charts, but I wanted to show you guys everything that's, that's happening in the markets basically all on one screen, ideally. So I decided to try this out. We can flip over to, just zoom in on one size here on our TrendSpider charts, which is very nice. This is actually one of my favorite features about TrendSpider is the ability to add so many charts to one layout. As you can see, it goes all the way up to like 8x6. I didn't even know it went up that high, but I'm pretty sure TrendSpider allows you to add the most charts in one screen out of any platform that I've ever seen. It's absolutely insane. It just really depends on your monitor. So very, very cool feature there. But yeah, look at Snapchat over here. It's covered by me, but look at that. It is absolutely tanking going into earnings here. Let me pull up just my main platform, I guess, for now and see what we got moving the markets today. I'm going to add my sector ETFs list and see what is going on in the markets today. As you can see, pretty much green across the board on everything except for TLT, which is interesting. So that's bonds is the only thing that is red today. It's actually red pretty good, as you can see right there. Everything else, though, is up. Leading the day is semiconductors, which was, the worst performer of yesterday. So getting a nice bounce after that gap down in semiconductors. We'll take a look at something like NVIDIA going into close here. And again, we have like 12 minutes till the market closes. So we will be covering earnings as they happen. Is Lucid reporting today as well? Yeah, we'll take a look at Lucid for sure. Why not? We'll take a look at everything that's coming out today. Why not? Yeah, but if you guys are new to the stream, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, because I'd love to see all you guys out there. Let's see, SMCI not had a good day. Let's take a look. And I think they reported, yesterday. Yeah, not a great look here on SMCI. They reported earnings yesterday, had a gap down. Yeah, they're down quite a bit over the last few days. Last like 3 days alone, it's down 20% on SMCI. That is pretty wild. Not a good time there. But semiconductors in general are up. We got MU up, Micron hitting new all-time highs. NVIDIA again. It's actually down a little bit on the day. Let's take a look at AMD. AMD is recovering pretty well. They reported earnings again yesterday. They tanked in after hours, but they absolutely recovered all of it and then some pretty well, starting in the pre-market session there. So nice for AMD. They did have a double B on earnings, AMD. So glad to see them popping back up. What is going on, Bruce and Fawad? Glad to see you guys out there. Let me pull back up my multi-symbol view again here and see how we're looking going into close. Yeah, Snapchat is just absolutely bleeding over here. You can see all this chart down there. Fortinet is looking pretty good. IONQ dying into close. QCOM dying into close. And HOOD has been setting up pretty interesting, actually. It's been consolidating ever since the last 30 minutes or so. Got 10 minutes to the market closes. So it should be fun, you guys. It should be fun to watch. Let me know what you guys are in. I mean, there's so many stocks reporting earnings today. I'm sure you guys are in some of them. So let me know if you guys are in, Robinhood, QCOM, ARM, whether you're playing earnings specifically, whether you're holding them as investments or whatever it may be. Always curious to hear what you guys are in. If a Watt is in ARM, nice, great company. Let's take a look here at the chart. We'll just maximize this. Well, let's actually just go to our other one over here. Something really cool, a new feature, well, somewhat new feature in TrendSpider. Sure you guys all know about Sidekick, our AI assistant, basically ChatGPT connected to all the market's data. But now we have it right on the chart. So you see this AI button right here. You can just go ahead and click that. And it's saying I'm currently looking at ARM, which is obviously what I'm looking at on my screen. And it even knows the time frame. It says daily chart. It says gather all the data you have for ARM and provide your summary of the big picture for this market. So it's a really cool feature. Honestly, if you're just looking at a stock and you're like, you just want a quick overview of the chart and the news or whatever else is going on, just click this AI button on your TrendSpider chart. It'll send it to Sidekick, as you see right here, automatically. And we're going to get a nice little overview of everything that is going on. Let's see. They always bearing, but stock always tank. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Let's see what Sidekick has to say. I'm actually curious going into earnings here. What is going on? For all of you guys just joining in, looks like we're getting some people slowly starting to roll in. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button so you guys can keep coming back. We're going to be live again tomorrow and throughout next week as well. Let's take a look at what Sidekick has to say about ARM, who is reporting earnings today, of course. Big picture, let's see. It's basically giving you a price action and technical picture here. Tells you the current price. It's down from its peak in October. Down 12% over the last week. Yeah, it is down quite a bit. If you look at the chart right here. Yeah, it was sitting about 182 at the top, but still looks pretty good on the overall chart. It looks like it's, honestly, a little bit top heavy. We've rejected this 180 level quite a few times on the weekly there. Let's look at fundamentals. That's where I think Sidekick does really well, is fundamentals. It says market cap of 170 billion. Trading at premium valuations, and we see some fundamental metrics here. It looks like their gross margins is 97%, which is incredible. ROE 11.58%, ROA 8.87%. Very strong balance sheet. Current ratio of 5.2 is pretty solid. Recent earnings here. Let's take a look. We also have the reports tab that we can look at right here. As you can see on the revenue front, all green bars, which means they're growing year or quarter over quarter consistently. On the EPS front, a couple of red ones, but they definitely looks like they're surprise beating, which means they're beating analyst expectations. Very important as well. But solid fundamentally. Revenue isn't growing a ton, but it is steadily increasing, which is a good sign. And the gross margin of 97%. It's a relatively, I guess, quote unquote, safe, slower mover in the semiconductor sector. And see, it tracks, insider and government activity. It's like no insider trades and minimal government trades. We have all that data here in TrendSpider as well. Sezzle. What is Sezzle? What's that ticker again? Mahmood. But here's the bottom line assessment that we get from ARM. ARM's business fundamentals remain strong, of course. Let's see. However, the recent 12% drop is whatever, honestly. Looks like there's some put buying. Of course, that's just going to happen when the stock drops. Macro headwinds with China tensions and AI valuation concerns. Speaking of that, if we go ahead and add like a price to sales, I'll just add PE ratio. That's fine. That works. Curious what the recent PE ratio is of this. ARM is sitting around, 100 PE ratio. That's higher than I thought ARM was at. So that's something to keep in mind. SEZL, let's take a quick look. We got 6 minutes till close, till these earnings start popping out. Sezzle is interesting. Are these guys reporting today? It looks like a solid chart. Yeah, they're reporting today as well. We'll take a look at them as they report. Look at that revenue. Revenue's looking pretty good. Last quarter was not the greatest, but looks like this quarter expect to be, pretty much in line with what it's been, around this $100 million range. EPS at least growing year over year per quarter. So yeah, we'll take a look at this one as well. If we go back to our multi-symbol view over here, let's take a look at what's going on. It looks like we're getting some selling into the close, except for Fortinet, or whatever this is, FTNT. I think it's Fortinet it's called. Moving up a little bit there. AppLovin, pretty good and hype name, is looking really, really nice, honestly, going into close here. HOOD is selling off, just broke this sort of consolidation range going into close. And QCOM kind of taking a breather. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff here going into close. We got 4 minutes. So we'll see what happens. I think which earnings are you guys most excited for? What about Figma, FIG? Figma, we're just talking about. Are you talking about Figma like the FIG, I think it is? You said FIGMA. But yeah, they are also reporting today. I mean, you got so many earnings today, guys. We'll definitely look at Figma. I think it's a solid company. Obviously, the valuation is maybe not ideal. They've been pretty much tanking ever since the IPO, but solid company, I think. So definitely we're going to take a look. But yeah, what are you guys most excited for? We got Bruce most excited for HOOD. I think that's probably going to be the top one that everyone's looking out for. I mean, look at the performance of HOOD. Ever since the bottom of 2022 has been absolutely insane. IPO price is right around, this 37. And ever since it broke this all-time high, really has not looked back. From IPO price, we're up, about 280%. Insane revenue growth, not to mention. And the product is, pretty solid. They keep adding new stuff. They're in prediction markets. They got stocks. They got, they're adding so much stuff. They got a credit card, their gold subscription that I'm sure a lot of people use. They give APY better than, even like Chase Bank. So pretty solid product. Snap. Let's take a look at Snap. Snap is an interesting one. Yeah, they have not been doing really well at all. If we look at like the 5 minute, I think Snap is something that you could trade. I don't know. I guess honestly, revenue wise, they're pretty steady. EPS, not really that steady. Looks like the past couple quarters have been negative EPS, which means they have been unprofitable. Definitely probably a solid one to trade, but I don't know. I don't think it's something I would invest in. Yeah, it is the MA Cloud. It is built right into TrendSpider. So if you guys don't have TrendSpider, you can use the link I'm going to put in the chat and in the description, or just trendspider.com, of course. Yeah, MA Cloud. But yeah, at least you can click the link in the chat to sign up and get a trial of the platform for just as low as $19. But yeah, we got 2 minutes going into close right here. If you guys are just tuning in, for one, welcome. We're going to be watching all these earnings we got on my multi-symbol view chart right here on the TrendSpider platform. If you guys aren't aware, if you guys are just joining in from YouTube, welcome. This is TrendSpider Live. And we got 1 minute until the market closes, and we should start seeing some movement. Of course, earnings usually don't report to like 5 to 20 minutes after they close. So the real moves will come in waves. So make sure to hit the like button and hit subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any more of these, because we're going to be going live all throughout November going forward. But it's starting to become the moment of truth here, sort of. Let me take a look at when exactly HOOD is set to actually release their numbers. They are 5 minutes after the bell. We got QCOM. Let's see. QCOM should be right at the bell, so we'll see what happens with QCOM here. Top middle. Yeah, market is about to close. We're getting some solid movement. I'll try to not let any of these stocks fall off my chart, but here we go. There's the bell. What is going to happen? We might see some movement in QCOM. IONQ is 5 minutes after the bell. We got ARM reporting 2 minutes, looks like, after the bell. AppLovin is reporting about 5 minutes after. So we'll get a lot of kind of reports coming in. Then 5 minutes of the bell ringing, and it just did. Ooh, FTNT getting crazy candles. QCOM, kind of a wild candle as well here. It's a fun time watching however many stocks. Look at that candle. You can see it like falling through my chart right there on QCOM. FTNT just dumped. Wow. That is, well, it's kind of a fake wick, I guess, but that was a pretty big one. Yeah, nothing too insane yet. QCOM starting to dive. Ooh, app starting to dive. And so, guys, if all these stocks are reporting right now, so none of them are. We already got the Mag 7 out of the way that are essentially, not controlling the market, but they're going to influence the market the most by far. When is Lucid reporting? They are reporting 5 minutes after the bell. Sorry, guys, I would put more charts on my screen. I know there's tons of stuff reporting today, but I could put way more charts on, but you won't really be able to see them that well, especially if you're on a small screen. So I'll keep it here. We'll take off Snap and we'll put Lucid for you so you can keep up with the movement as it happens here. Go to the 1 minute chart. Are you in Lucid? Who is asking? Yeah, still got NVIDIA later on. Yeah, true. NVIDIA still has yet to report. That is correct. I don't know why they report so much later, but yeah, most of the Max 7 reported. Was it a week or two ago? I don't know, but we were live for all of them. Nice. I was thinking Rivian. Didn't Rivian report recently too? I don't remember. FIG, is FIG moving? Let's get Fortinet off of here and put on FIG. No, they're not moving that much yet, really, if at all. They probably will get some movement soon. Root. Yeah, we got Root down here at the bottom left for you. Rivian tanked. Let's take a look. Let's get Bros out of here and put Rivian. Oh, pre-market. That's what it was. Yeah. Was it? I think it was aftermarket yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday aftermarket. It looks like Rivian went up. Rivian's been doing pretty solid, it looks like. My 1 minute chart here. Yeah, they reported yesterday after the bell. ARM just flew. Woo, look at ARM. See how big of a move that was. Whoa, that was an 8% move. Sorry, yeah, you can't really tell on these 1 minute charts since they're so small. That was an 8% move to the upside on ARM. Went from 160 to like 174. That was interesting. Great if you're an ARM. Yeah, days blur together for me as well. I don't even know. I just wake up and do things. I agree. But yeah, if you're an ARM, congrats. They just ripped. What else we got? Still not a ton of movement elsewhere. Sezzle 7%. QCOM double B. Awesome. Too bad QCOM is not really moving that much. Maybe they are. From the bottom, up a few percent. Nothing insane. ARM looking amazing still. We'll get Sezzle here instead of Rivian. Sezzle up. Very nice, as you can see here. Sezzle is up about, 7%. ARM starting to come back down, give back all those 8% gains it just made. Root is doing all right. So many numbers coming out. IONQ not moving at all. That is correct. We got one. All right, it's 4 minutes after the bell. We got about 1 minute, less than 1 minute until we probably start getting a ton of movement here, you guys, because that's when a lot of these guys report. So get ready for my charts to probably go wild and start flying off the screen. Let's see what happens. Root's probably not out yet. Root will come out. God, there's so many. We got Joby. I didn't even look at Joby yet. Wow. What else we got? Yeah, Sezzle, HubSpot, HUBS, FICO, PayC, PAYC, like Paychecks. It looks like Root's not coming out till 4:15. Lucid just fell off my chart. Figma just fell off my chart. IONQ ripping. Fig dumped. Lucid dumped. App is ripping. Hood is dumping. Can't even keep up with all these. Tons and tons of movement going on right now, you guys. App is up. Oh my God. How do we even know? It's just flying. App is up 6%. App is up 6%. Robinhood just came down about 2%, about, give or take, nothing crazy. IONQ, the ever so controversial quantum name, is up 3% on the day. And continuing to move up. Sezzle moving up. Wow. Crazy stuff happening right now. Yeah, IONQ is looking like one of the best winners of the day. Well, ARM is probably, for now, the top mover, which is interesting considering it's probably one of the least volatile names reporting. App is going crazy, but it's not dumping. It's definitely up since close. ARM had just a crazy candle right there. What else we got? If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to TrendSpider Live. Make sure to follow us on X if you're on X. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. I cannot talk. Just been floating around these earnings because we're going to be going live all throughout the future. We're using TrendSpider here to chart all of these earnings moves right now. You have all these companies reporting earnings on a single monitor in front of me because TrendSpider allows you to do tons of charts in one layout, the most out of any trading platform that I have seen. Again, hit the subscribe button because we provide tons of free content and go live for you guys all the time. Would love to see you guys back. But yeah, we're just chilling, watching earnings right now, you guys. Looks like IONQ is definitely a winner. I don't know anything about the numbers quite yet. Oh, Root just fell off my chart. We're just looking at price action. Price action to me during this time is, at least after hours, is really all that's going to matter. Of course, the earnings report, the numbers do matter a ton. I'm not saying they don't. However, whatever they're reacting to, that's where the price is going. So whether you're long or short, the numbers don't always matter. It's where the stock is going, right? Price is what pays. Wow, Sezzle is mooning right now. It said 15%. Let's fact check that. Yeah, probably closer to 18, 20% at this point for SEZL. Insane. App double beat. Thank you, Luke. Hood double beat. Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll go ahead and use Sidekick to kind of analyze all of these here in a second. But for now, let's enjoy these amazing, amazing chart moves all across the board. Oh, yeah, we got Duolingo, DUOL. Looks like Lucid ain't doing anything. Not sure why Root is dumping. I don't think they even reported yet. Duolingo is an interesting one. I'm surprised that's even still a thing with ChatGPT being out. IONQ has been chilling there. We'll definitely go ahead and take a look at ELF. We haven't looked at ELF yet. Yeah, ELF is down pretty good. A lot of the consumer discretionary names have been down, like Chipotle, for example. Did not do well on earnings because basically the CEO is like, no one is eating out right now. It's the the economy is not that good. ELF is like beauty stuff, so definitely discretionary spending there. Yeah, ARM just gave back all of its gains. It was up like 8%. Now it's up pretty much no percent. Hood is coming down. That is correct. AppLovin is moving pretty nicely to the upside right here of about 5% or so. Wow, an insane amount of earnings. Yeah, no problem, Mahmood. I'm trying to do my best here. There's like a million earnings reports coming out, but we're doing our best to cover them all. Gotta love earnings season, right? Got to love it. Let's see. Is this showing anything yet? Not yet on there. See what QCOM. QCOM really hasn't moved a whole lot, has it? Yeah, it looks like a lot of the bulk of these moves has happened. Pretty sure IONQ released 5 minutes after the bell. That lines up with the move they did release for IONQ. Let me take a look. IONQ. They are up, of course, as you can see. I'm looking for the actual numbers, though. Not seeing them yet. I'm sure they're out there. Just depends where you're looking at. But on this multi-symbol view charts, I cannot see the news. So let's honestly, now that a lot of the moves have happened, let's go to our main chart and start trying to find what these numbers are telling us. Let's pull up HOOD first. That is probably the one that most of y'all are watching. You can put on our log charts. Let's see. So Robinhood EPS beats 48-cent estimate, and sales also beats by quite a bit. Let's maximize this reports tab. I think this is correct. 1.27. 100% change. Oh my God, they're up 100% year over year in revenue for Q3. Absolutely insane. Their estimate is 1.19 billion. They reported 1.27 billion. What a quarter for Robinhood. Wow. 1.27 billion. That's their second quarter of over $1 billion in revenue. Their last quarter 3, just 1 year ago, they did half of that, you guys. That is insane. Insanity. EPS, 61 cents a share. That is their highest EPS yet from what I'm seeing. 48-cent estimate. Last Q3 was only 17 cents. Wow, what an insane quarter. Let's see. Yeah, so that's all I'm seeing. Not seeing any forward guidance yet. We'll probably have to wait for the earnings call on that one. Let's see. IONQ should be. Let's take a look at IONQ. Interesting. Not seeing it yet. Let me remove this and add it once again to the right here. Not seeing it yet. Is it on our tab right here? November 5th. Yeah, I'm not seeing IONQ revenues yet. It's interesting. Yeah, it's probably on the official website. Let's take a look at ARM. It'll update shortly. ARM, we got Q2 adjusted EPS 39 cents, beating 33-cent estimate. Sales $1.13, beating $1.06. Take a look at the year-over-year numbers right here on our reports tab. So revenue, see if these matches up. 1.14 billion, which is a 34% year-over-year change. That is solid for the revenue. And then EPS, we got 39 cents, which is a 30% year-over-year change and a 50% beat on analyst estimates. Take a look to see any forward guidance. Not really, but ARM, again, double beat. Very, very cool stuff on their end. Dash. Let's take a look at Dash. Dash is down quite a bit right here. Whew, down 20% DoorDash. Yeah, that's probably a good put buy right there. Congrats. Let's see. DoorDash Q3 misses and sales beat, EPS miss there on DoorDash. Let's see. It's a 44.74 increase. Let's take a look at our reports tab here. Revenue honestly did pretty good. As you can see, this revenue growth chart is pretty nice. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people, if they're not even eating at Chipotle, I don't think they're door dashing either. Let's take a look at 55 cents. Let's see. EPS. Yeah, I mean, year over year, the EPS grew, but they just missed analyst expectations. So good riddance on DoorDash. Let's take a look what else we got here. Go back to my multi-symbol view. Duolingo, we got ELF. Let's take a look at, we already covered. Let's take a look at QCOM next. QCOM double beat. Non-Apple revenue grows. It's kind of funny. Non-Apple revenue. Let's see. So QCOM beats EPS by, came in at 3, beat the 2.88 estimate. Sales came in at 11.27 billion, beating 10.78. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. Let's go to revenue. Their revenue came in pretty nice, it looks like. Yeah, so double beat there on QCOM, but they are down a little bit. Nothing insane in the after hours session. So it looks like pretty good guidance. They said they're excited about their business momentum there on Qualcomm. Forward guidance, we see EPS 330 to 350 versus the 331 estimate. So probably a little bit higher there on EPS guidance, which is good, and higher on the revenue guidance, which is also good. So pretty good on QCOM. What else do we got here? ELF. Take a look at ELF. ELF is down pretty decent, minus 20%. Whew. Let's see. I haven't even seen numbers yet on ELF. Maybe what time is it? It's 1:17. Oh, Joby. Let's take a look at Joby. They should have reported today as well. Not seen any numbers on there. It doesn't look like they've moved at all yet, so nothing crazy on Joby. Let's take a look at Bros, which is Dutch Bros. Let's see. Dutch Bros up like 2.6%. Refresh this news widget. Yeah, not much. No numbers that I'm seeing yet on Dutch Bros. IONQ. Let's take a look at IONQ again here. IONQ is pretty much flat since close, which is interesting. Not seeing numbers quite yet on the platform. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We are covering all these earnings that are dropping right now in real time. Let's go over to our multi-symbol view right here, so we can see what everything is doing overall. From what I'm seeing a little bit more stocks trading down than up, or really just flat. App is looking pretty good. Hood is looking decent, down a little bit. ARM up slightly. Sezzle is probably the biggest winner that I'm seeing today. IONQ was up pretty nice, but now it's really just flat. So you guys are probably going to have to wait till the earnings calls for a lot of these. Let's see what you guys are saying there in the chat. Hood dropping is, people are saying hood dropping is dumb. You guys, you're never going to be able to, accurately guess what happens on earnings. As you can see, even if, you call the numbers right, like they beat numbers, it's the price doesn't always follow. As you can see with Hood, it's really pretty much a crapshoot playing earnings. AMC, is AMC reporting today? I don't think AMC is report. Oh, they are. Interesting. When do they report? They should have reported a few minutes ago. Let's take a look at the news widget here. IONQ a little bit up since we last talked about it. Wow, look how illiquid AMC is. Looks disgusting. Don't see any numbers on AMC quite yet. IONQ, nothing yet. Let's bring up HOOD again. I think everyone mostly is here to watch HOOD and maybe QCOM. But HOOD is really just down 1.7%. It's not that bad, you guys. To be honest, ARM had a... Oh, I'm getting all these mixed up. ARM, I think, had a double beat. Yeah, ARM had a double beat. Let me see. What are you guys watching? But yeah, ARM rings double beat. ARM is looking pretty damn good into close here. 5.18% to the upside. AMC supposed to report, but I'm not seeing numbers yet. I'm not seeing any movement on that chart. I mean, this chart looks honestly terrible. ELF is making a new low going into close here. Root is actually coming up pretty nice from the bottom there, plus 3.58%. What else are you guys seeing? Yeah, AMC's not doing nothing. But I do have a pretty cool prompt that I want to send into our Sidekick AI so you guys can take a look at what it can do. So let me pull up that prompt. It is basically an earnings analysis prompt. And it basically, obviously, is going to analyze the most recent earnings for any ticker, compare it to its peers, and pretty much do all the analysis you need it to do post earnings for you. So we're going to replace this ticker placeholder with HOOD, send in that prompt, and what it's going to do right now is something pretty nice. It's going to basically give me a comparison of HOOD versus its peers. It's going to summarize its earnings, its forward guidance, if any is released, and gives a whole ton of useful information. Just a single prompt. Pull up HOOD right here as we go ahead and do this. Let's see. So if we open Sidekick right here, we can see a brief summary of HOOD. It says HOOD reported Q3 earnings. Oh, it's looking at 2024. That's annoying. Hold on, let me resend that. You know, LLMs are not perfect, you guys. For HOOD, 11/5/25. Sometimes you have to tell it the date or something specific because it was analyzing the Q3 24 earnings. Anyways, HOOD is still down even after that nice double beat, down minus 2% there. Let's see. Root is looking still pretty good. It's looking like the biggest winners of the day are going to be Root and Sezzle. I think HOOD's earnings actual numbers are probably the best. Why is QCOM going down? Again, you guys, even though it's a double beat, it does not mean the stock price is going to follow. Again, HOOD at a double beat, and it is basically flat to down on the day. Oh, Snap is up. Let's take a look at Snapchat. Yeah, Snap is honestly killing it. Look at that, Snap. Snap is up, yeah, 24%. Very, very nice move there. Let me pull up Snap right here. Wow, look at that chart on Snap, you guys. Went from just like pretty much low sevens. So it went up like $2 a share, which is, pretty solid for Snap. Very nice move. Let me reload or refresh our news widget here. Not seeing anything yet on the platform. 4 numbers for them. Yep. All right. Here is HOOD, Robinhood's earnings recap. So HOOD reported Q3 earnings. The company delivered a beat, double beat, of course. Looks like EPS beat estimates by 15%, revenue beat by about 7%. Record revenue, of course, as you saw, it was the second $1 billion quarter for Robinhood. And let's see, EPS, we got revenue. Some nice commentary there. Obviously, strong beat. Record revenue, doubled year over year. Absolutely insane. Then we have the valuation versus its peers. So who did they pull up for peers? They pulled up Coinbase, Schwab, Interactive Brokers, and SoFi. So as you can see here, the median is 30 for PE ratio. HOOD is sitting at a 52. It's the highest PE ratio out of its peers. Same with price to sales. It is trading definitely at a premium, as that is what it's saying right here. HOOD trades at a significant premium. But that growth is insane, you guys. Revenue 100% year over year, best quarter ever in terms of revenue. Very nice. So honestly, as a shareholder, you can't complain with that whatsoever. Even though the stock price is down, which kind of sucks, but not much you can do there other than keep holding. But if you look at the overall chart of HOOD here, you can see it really has gone straight up ever since pretty much 2024 started. And the PE ratio is, pretty high up there. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, well, eventually with these revenue increases quarter over quarter and year over year, that PE ratio could eventually lower to something better. That is essentially how it could work. Let's see. How much of their revenue is of crypto? I'm pretty sure a big portion of Robinhood's revenue is crypto. I don't have the exact numbers. Let's take a look to see if Sidekick knows that. Oh, yeah. MU has been amazing to date. Revenue by sector or revenue by segment. Give it to me in a nice table. Show me how much money Robinhood makes with each of their segments or business segments. Curious what percent of their revenue comes from crypto as well. So let's see what Sidekick has to say about that. What else are you guys watching? IONQ. Finch Jane, I appreciate the sub. If you guys are out there and you're new to this stream, welcome to TrendSpider Live. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because we're going to be continuing to go live throughout November for you guys, covering big earnings events like this. We got so many companies reporting earnings. It has been absolutely amazing. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's going to be hard to find their exact revenues based on crypto without diving real deep into everything. But let's see, based on industry commentary, crypto can represent like 15 to 35% of total revenue, depending on market conditions, is definitely key there. During Q3 24, crypto transaction revenue was like 20 to 25%, which sounds about right. Yeah, so pretty high, pretty good amount of their revenue does come from crypto. Something useful to know if you're a HOOD investor for sure. So good call out right there. Whoever that was, I forget. Let's see. Oh, nice. Pew. Sorry, missing the chat here. Looks like 68 million. Was that 68 million out of 730 million crypto to revenue? Was that 68 million out of 730 million? I mean, they just reported what 1.27 billion this last quarter. Yeah, I guess it depends which quarter, but yeah, that's about like roughly a third, which sounds about right, 20 to 30%. IREN, take a look at IREN. When do they report? They report tomorrow. We'll take a look at IREN tomorrow when they're reporting. Let's take a look at the overall multi-symbol view charts right here. Sezzle gave back all of its gains. It's like AMC moved up a little bit. Let me move that over there so you guys can see. ELF continuing just to bleed. Got HOOD. Yeah. Snap. Surprisingly, Snap is one of the biggest winners of the earnings today, you guys. IONQ, again, a little bit up, but pretty flat. You can pull up IONQ on the big screen over here. Oh, it looks like we got numbers. IONQ Q3 EPS of negative 24 cents beats the negative 40 cents estimate. Sales beat by quite a bit, 39 million versus 26.98 million estimated. Look at that. That's a nice IONQ report. Still not profitable, but I mean, wow. Record revenue from what I'm seeing, 39 million. Yeah. Who out there is in IONQ? Are you guys all trading that? It's been a pretty crazy mover lately. Once it broke this 35 level right here. Yeah, had another leg up and we're kind of chilling there. Surprisingly, well, not that surprisingly, it's only up like 2.83% since the close. But yeah, very nice quarter on IONQ. And someone said they raised their forward guidance, which is good. Oh yeah, very nice on IONQ. We can check. I'm curious to see if there's any Congress trading or anything like that in IONQ. Let me go ahead and add. You know what? I'll just add the Congress trades on chart indicator. And I'll add insider trades on chart as well. So you can see, if anything, there's been a lot of selling there on IONQ. Did have an insider buy at the bottom over there. That's kind of funny. But it looks like a lot of the insiders kind of sold this first kind of pop up. One guy got a sell there on September 12th, but really not much insider trading or Congress trading activity over the last, looks like we don't have the Congress trading anyway, but insider trading, a lot of people are selling during this period of consolidation. Maybe they were not expecting it to move up again, which is interesting. Are you seeing EPS of negative 3.14? Because I am seeing EPS of negative 0.24. an estimate of 0.4. That's coming straight from the Benzinga news desk for IONQ. Maybe that's wrong. Who knows? RGTI, let's take a look. RGTI has also just been having tons of insiders selling, but no buying whatsoever that I'm seeing. But it's hanging in there pretty well, honestly. But coming down, HIMS. Take a look at HIMS because they reported like 2 days ago. Let me hide this. Lots of insider selling. Let me turn off this insider trades on chart indicator. Did have a member of Congress buy HIMS here on August 5th. But yeah, HIMS is definitely trading at the lower end of its recent consolidation range. And they reported earnings the other day, which looks like a double beat. Or no, it looks like EPS missed. I'm sorry. EPS missed, but revenue beat. So pretty mixed stuff there on HIMS. Hood recovering, says Jailbird. Let's take a look. It's funny to see the Congress trading on charts indicator, just scrolling through everything. Seen a lot of Congress buying ever since all throughout 2025. And then as you can see, it's like Rob Bresnahan or whoever that is selling Hood back in early 2025. But it's just interesting to be able to see exactly where on your chart they are buying and selling, of course. And this is Robinhood. Pull up the 1 minute chart. Yeah, Robinhood is really right back up to where they started, isn't it? What else are you guys looking at? QCOM. Yeah, let's take a look at QCOM again. QCOM, yeah, had a nice earnings beat, but they're down 2.5%. Man, let's take a look at what Sidekick has to say about QCOM. I will check Figma right after we check here. I'll put up on the chart while Sidekick thinks there. Figma is, let's take a look at the numbers again. So many numbers coming out today, you guys. Looks like they raised guidance, which to me is the most important thing in an earnings report. Let's see. They see 292 to 294 million versus 282 million estimated for forward guidance, which is a great look on forward guidance. And then actual numbers, it looks like EPS beat at 10 cents, beating the 5-cent estimate. Sales came in at 274 million, beating 265 million estimate. So excellent report there on FIG. I'm not sure because there's so many earnings reporting today, you guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a stream on the calls today just because there's so many. I don't know which one I would want to pick. Don't want to single anyone out. Maybe Robinhood. But I don't know. If you guys all want me to stream Robinhood, that'll probably be the earnings call that I go ahead and stream out of any of them, really. Just because they had such a good report and they're probably the most sought out after earnings report that came out today. But let's see what Sidekick is saying here about QCOM. So it gives you a nice overview of everything going on. Let's see. So even has the stuff bolded that you need. We got a double beat. Guidance was positive. Management highlighted strong momentum in non-Apple revenue growth and AI initiatives. Let's take a look at QCOM versus its competitors. Top one here being AMD. Wow, price to earnings ratio of QCOM is way lower, down under 20 versus something like AMD at 103. Price to sales also pretty good there at 4, while AMD is twice that at 8. EV to sales, basically the same thing. Let's see. Market cap 186 billion versus AMD's 230 billion. And they do more revenue than AMD as well. They do more revenue than AMD. Have a better price to sales ratio, of course, lower PE. So QCOM, I mean, looking pretty good on paper. See this bull and bear case. Bull case is gross margins holding strong at 55.5%. Diversification gaining traction. Their non-Apple revenue highlighted as a growth driver, which is good to see always. Beat and raise pattern intact. Of course, double beat and raising guidance is always going to be nice. Let's see. Valuation discount reflects real AI monetization risk. Trading at 52% discount to sector PE may be a red flag. That's true. Just because the PE ratio is low doesn't mean the stock is cheap. There might be a reason why the PE ratio is so low, which basically is the market, according to Sidekick, market saying the market itself doesn't believe the AI chip story will be nearly as meaningful as something like NVIDIA. Competition, of course. So yeah, that's the bull and bear case for QCOM. Done super easily here with our Sidekick AI trading assistant. Very, very nice. QBTS rising on IONQ gains. Let's take a look at QBTS. QBTS is up a bit for sure in after hours trading. IONQ straight back up. Let's do the same kind of thing here for IONQ, since all of you guys seem to be pretty interested in IONQ. If you guys are just tuning into the stream, again, welcome to TrendSpider Live. We're using the TrendSpider platform here, all of our built-in AI tools to analyze the many, many earnings that just came out at market close, or shortly after market close, that is. And right now I'm using TrendSpider's AI assistant Sidekick to go ahead and analyze the most recent earnings for IONQ, which obviously just happened. And as you can see on my chart right here, IONQ is up quite a bit, up 4.5%, which honestly probably isn't that much for IONQ. But, you know, I think a lot of people out there have been calling for IONQ and all these quantum names to really just saying they're not really obviously great companies, but man, look at that revenue in IONQ. It just came in pretty much double last quarter's revenue, highest revenue quarter ever from what I'm seeing, at least since 2022. EPS still negative. They are not profitable. Take a look at IONQ, see what Sidekick has to say. Let's see. Actual EPS obviously beat, 33% surprise, 47% revenue surprise, and 222% growth year over year. Sounds a little bit higher than what I remembered, but yeah, let's take a look at IONQ versus it pulled RGTI and QBTS. Again, the price to earnings is not going to be there because they are not a profitable company. None of these companies are. But from a price to sales perspective, IONQ sitting at 217, which is pretty high. But with RGTI trading at 280 price to sales and QBTS trading at 153, comparably, it's not that bad. Let's see. See the bull versus bear case here on IONQ. Revenue acceleration is obvious for the bulls that it looks great. Margin beat, obviously EPS beating estimates, of course. Quantum network rollout expands international presence and validates enterprise/government use cases. That's interesting. Geneva quantum network rollout. And then, just overall quantum momentum, I guess you could say. Then the bear case, super high valuation, of course. Amazon exit apparently completely dumped its position of IONQ, raising red flags on big money conviction. And obviously, they're still burning cash. So there's the bull and bear case there for IONQ. But guys, if you're just trading the charts, to an extent, we had Matt Caruso on. I think a lot of technical traders definitely pay attention to fundamentals, but overall, price is what's going to pay. And so if a chart is setting up nice and the company, as you can see here, is at least growing revenue, maybe even growing EPS, like this one, their EPS is meh, but their revenue is growing, maybe enough to at least drive momentum for you guys to be able to make money on the company or the stock price itself. No worries, Mahmood. Have a good day. Make sure to hit subscribe if y'all haven't already. We've been live for about an hour now. So if you guys have any questions about the TrendSpider platform or any earnings, let me know down in the chat below. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't. Hit subscribe so you can continue watching these TrendSpider lives with us. Let's see. Yeah, we got IONQ. Not sure. I'm trying to find out when the HOOD earnings call is. Investor Relations Earnings Webcast. The Robinhood earnings call should be here in just a few minutes. Is anyone interested in hearing the Robinhood earnings call? I know there's tons of different, earnings calls that are about to happen. But if there's any of them that I'm going to play, it's definitely going to be Robinhood. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. All right, we got one yes. I think that's good enough for me. All right, I got the Robinhood report or earnings call ready to go once it actually starts. And we'll keep our chart of Robinhood up. Maybe, I'll probably just keep Robinhood up and then also have the Robinhood stream up. And I think this was, that's our IONQ. Look up there. Let's take a look at Figma because this is a stock we were talking about earlier. Looks like we got some Congress buying in Figma. We got, I don't know how to say her name, but Taylor Green, who is pretty active in the markets. Looks like she's been buying at least, at the top at 78. We got Cleo Fields bought kind of at 50 and then bought again at 61. But no matter when you bought, you guys, you are currently pretty much down on your position unless you somehow snipe the bottom there at 42. If you take a look at the 1 minute chart of Figma, you can see that it is up since close about 5%. And again, they raised their guidance, and they had, I believe, a double beat. Yep, double beat on Figma and raised guidance. So honestly, maybe not the worst time to start. Maybe a position in Figma if you're thinking about doing so. It just did break, essentially looks like a double bottom low right here. And so maybe it'll get bought up under there, at least temporarily. Let me run that prompt on Figma, because now I am curious there as well. Oh, whoops, I did not copy the prompt. I copied the output. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this earnings analysis prompt I have all ready to go and change it from IONQ to FIG. They all think Figma is the next Adobe. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That is what I've heard. Good one, Zach. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a solid company. I don't really use it personally, but I've heard very good things about Figma, and their earnings report is doing pretty damn good from what I am seeing. But if you're a trend follower, if you're trying to play momentum, it is only momentum we're seeing right now is to the downside. So kind of tough look there. It is a brand new company. It's hard to kind of trade based on technicals when there's only been a couple months, like 5 months, even less of actual trading data. Yeah, IONQ killed it in revenue growth, was insane. Yeah, Robinhood earnings call starts in a few minutes. I have it ready to go. Don't worry, I'll put it live when it's starting. Let's see what Sidekick has to say about Figma now, though. Again, double beat, positive guidance. Let's take a look at what it pulls for competitors. Pulled Adobe, of course. CRM, interesting. DDOG, Datadog. Let's see, 1 billion. Let me double check Figma's revenue numbers here. Is it 1 billion in revenue? Maybe it is. We only have a couple quarters of data here on Figma, so take all this maybe with a grain of salt, you guys. But yeah, it's trading at a roughly 22x price to sales, which is the highest out of all these competitors. Again, there's not a lot of data for Figma though, so kind of tough to say exactly based on these estimated numbers. Let's see if there's anything interesting for Figma. It looks like there was an open AI partnership announced with Figma in October, which is interesting. That's all. I mean, that's been super great news lately. Anyone that partners with open AI has gotten a pretty nice share increase. Yeah, of course. Palantir definitely did have a lots of pains when it first jumped in the market as well. I think the thing with some of these stocks, especially at IPO, is you really have to just hold on and not look at it really. As long as the earnings keep doing well, just accept the fact that the momentum's to the downside. Maybe the valuation is a little bit extended, but you got to really be in it probably for the long run. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, again, all these bulls and bear case things are interesting just because there's not a whole lot of actual fundamental data available yet. Again, it's saying Adobe's aggressive AI push, Canva's growth. All these competitors are, something to watch out for. So if you are, trading Figma or investing in it, definitely keep an eye on Adobe. Keep an eye on, how Canva itself is doing. I don't think Canva's even traded, but it is something you'd want to, you just got to pay attention to the actual product itself. As you can see, Adobe is trading pretty low on the weekly chart right here. So. But I think we have Robinhood earnings call starting here pretty soon. that we can go ahead and play. Let me see. Like 5 minutes until the earnings call starts for Robinhood. So I'll go and put that on when it does start coming out. And I think I'm going to put it actually on this chart. Let me move this over there. See what indicator I can throw on. I think an 8 EMA is cool, or maybe I like the 21. Throw a 21 EMA here on the 1 minute chart. Sorry, Z. I'm gonna play the HOOD earnings call. If I could play them all, I would. Yeah, guys, if you guys are still out there, we're going to be watching or listening to the HOOD earnings call in just a second. I will hop off stage, but if you guys haven't already, hit the like button and hit subscribe before I head out here so you guys can join our live again tomorrow. We're going to be going live again tomorrow. Looks like what we got tomorrow. We got Affirm earnings. We got Open. We got IREN, Sound, SoundHound, MP, the Trade Desk, TTD, Airbnb. Tons more earnings coming out tomorrow. So definitely tune back in for that. No problem, Bruce. No problem. Got a few minutes until the call starts, so we can I'll lower this volume here for now. Yeah, as far as the sectors goes, kind of went over this earlier, but the things that were leading the downside moves yesterday, which were Bitcoin and semiconductors, are now leading the day in gains today. And we got TLT down, which is bonds down over 1% today, which is interesting. So it's like risk is coming, at least today, risk is coming back into the market. Some risk on plays. SPY is kind of in between here at up 0.39%. Let's see, XLF and XLV are also hanging in there. That's where I've been seeing some money flow into recently based on the stock market map that I always pull up here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on anyways. So the way to read the stock market map is everything all the way to the right, and also at the top right is going to be the best performers. But you can see semiconductor is still leading the charge, followed by the tech sector, which is pretty similar. Then gold, SPY, and then we got healthcare, bonds. So yeah, that is, I mean, the name of the game is still AI and semiconductors, you guys. That is still leading the charge by quite a bit over the last 30 days and a year. Gold's been doing pretty good. But let's see. We got 1 minute until this earnings call begins to start. We have our Robinhood chart up right now. Since close, the stock is down. It's pretty much flat. It's down 1.36% though. But we'll have to see what they say. It says earnings will begin shortly here on my screen. Should hear some music in the background. If you guys can hear the music, let me know, because that means the earnings call will be coming through. Turn down my speakers a tad. We'll see if we get any movement here as the earnings call starts for Robinhood. Yes, IONQ absolutely killed it. So did Robinhood. Robinhood record quarter in revenue. So this should be an interesting call. Hopefully Vlad is hyped. I'm sure he is.
Thank you to everyone for joining Robinhood's Q3
Can you guys hear that? Go ahead and let me
earnings
know.
call, whether you're tuning into the live stream at home or here with us in person. With us today are Chairman and CEO Vlad Tenev, CFO Jason Warnick, SVP of Finance and Strategy and Treasurer Shiv Verma, and VP of Corporate Finance and Investor Relations Chris Cagle. Vlad and Jason will offer opening remarks and then open the call to Q&A. During the Q&A portion of the call, we will answer questions from the audience.
You guys are out there, please let me know if you can
Institutional
hear the
research
earnings call. You
analysts,
should be
finance
able to.
content creators who may hold an ownership position in Robinhood, and both institutional and retail shareholders. As a reminder, today's call will contain forward-looking statements. Actual results could differ materially from our current expectations, and we may not provide updates unless legally required. Potential risk factors that could cause differences, including regulatory developments that we continue to monitor, are described in the press release we issued today, the earnings presentation, and our SEC filings, all of which can be found at investors.robinhood.com. Today's discussion will also include non-GAAP financial measures. Reconciliations to the GAAP measures we consider most directly comparable can be found in the earnings presentation. With that, please welcome Vlad and Jason.
Good to see you. Good to see everyone. It's great to be here with all of you today. We have a live audience again, this time from downtown San Francisco. And also great to, I think for the first time in our earnings call, have institutional and retail shareholders. So buy side joining us. So welcome and thank you. Also, we have our institutional analysts. So good to see a lot of familiar faces here. Q3 was another quarter of relentless product velocity. So we were excited to see that. It was really across our three focus areas, which, as a reminder, #1 in active traders, #1 in wallet share for the next generation, #1 global financial ecosystem. So I'll briefly go through each of these. Active traders, we want active traders to feel like they are at a disadvantage if they trade anywhere other than Robinhood. And we've rolled out a ton of great new products for active traders. You guys might have seen second annual HOOD Summit in Vegas just a couple weeks ago. We announced a bunch of brokerage updates, shorting multiple brokerage accounts, AI-driven custom indicators powered by Robinhood Cortex, a whole new social platform, Robinhood Social, and we've got more. We've got more for you guys. We can't wait to share more next month at our first ever AI event on December 16th. Innovation like this really has the active trader engine humming. In Q3, we had record equity and option trading volumes, and October looks even better. For both equities and options, in the month of October, we had new single-day all-time and new monthly records. So both of those businesses just continuing to perform strongly. Prediction markets are really on fire. It's hard to believe that we launched this just about a year ago with the presidential election markets. We've doubled volume every quarter since then to 2.3 billion contracts in Q3. And the month of October alone was up to 2.5 billion contracts. So October by itself was bigger than all of Q3 combined. Customers really love the product, and we're bringing them even more. We're now at over 1,000 live contracts, and we've expanded categories. So it's not just sports, but also economics, politics, culture. We're making the UI much cleaner, the experience even better. And I think it's really exciting to see where this can go. I mean, we love being early to this new asset class, and some people are saying this could be one of the largest asset classes because you can price risk in pretty much anything. We have a massive opportunity with assets as well. Turning to wallet share, our assets are now up to over $1/3 of a trillion as the generational wealth transfer of 120 trillion is fully in motion. So I think it's really great to see our financial super app accelerating. On the long-term money side, retirement now up over 25 billion, which more than doubled in the past year. And Robinhood Strategies, which we just launched in March, now has over 1 billion in assets and is one of the fastest growing digital advisors. On the banking front, Robinhood Gold Card now over 500,000 cardholders with over 8 billion in annual spend. So the numbers there just keep growing. That's 5x growth in cardholders since the beginning of the year. And we'll get into this a little bit more in Jason's section, but we like what we see there. The customer behavior is good, and that's given us confidence to accelerate the rollout, and we're going to accelerate it even further. And Robinhood Banking started early customer rollout quite recently. So far, we like what we're seeing there too. Customers are direct depositing. You might have seen some nice screenshots of the user experience and the onboarding flow, and people really love that they're getting interest, not just on their savings, but they have an opportunity to earn a good interest on checking. So it's really about simplifying things for customers. And the plan is to just keep scaling this, keep adding more services, more products. And last but not least, we've been really grinding to build out the #1 global financial ecosystem. So 10 years from now, the aim is to have over half of our revenue be outside the US, and also cut another way. Right now, we're majority retail. We think we can get to over half being non-retail, institutional. And these are tough goals, but I think the opportunity is there, and we're going after it. 3 areas of progress to highlight from Q3. Tokenization, which are stock tokens in the EU. We're now up to 400 plus public companies and growing. There's a lot of innovation to be done. We're working hard. Robinhood Ventures in the US. So we found a way to give exposure to non-accredited retail to private companies, which we think is super important and a huge opportunity for us. We've already made some initial investments. We're working towards the public offering for Robinhood Ventures in the coming months. Bitstamp around the world, our first scaled institutional business. We're very excited about that. We are continuing to grow. We're adding capabilities. We're adding more institutional customers. Volumes are up 60+% quarter-over-quarter for Bitstamp. And it's great to see that we're accelerating even as we're integrating. And I think that's not a common thing. It's a big business. I think the team's done a really nice job kind of integrating and making sure that product velocity just continues to increase. And as a result of all this, great business results in Q3. Revenues up over 100% year over year to a record of nearly 1.3 billion. Record net deposits in the quarter, over 20 billion. We've already exceeded last year's record of 50 billion in net deposits, and we still have another entire quarter to go. So we feel really good about the traction there. Gold subscribers up to a record 3.9 million. And that's 14+% adoption when you look at the overall net account base. And it's nearly 40% for customers that joined in quarter, our new customers. International customers, nearly 700,000 international funded, including Bitstamp. So the UK and EU are continuing to grow nicely. And we feel great about Q3 product velocity and results. I think it was a strong quarter, and I'll turn it over to Jason to go through financials before we get into Q&A.
Sounds good. Thanks, Vlad. In Q3, we delivered another quarter of strong profitable growth. Revenue doubled while margins expanded, and earnings per share more than tripled from last year. Year to date through Q3, revenues are up 65%. Earnings per share is up 150%, and we continue to stay disciplined on expenses to deliver 75% incremental adjusted EBITDA margins. And it's exciting that as our business grows, we're continuing to diversify. In Q3, two more businesses, Prediction Markets and Bitstamp, each surpassed 100 million in annualized revenue, bringing us to 11 in total and underscoring the growing diversification and strength of our business. Prediction Markets reached that milestone in less than a year. It's our fastest in history, and it's already tracking towards a $300 million run rate based on October volumes. So just really going fast. Now, let's take a closer look at our Q3 results compared to a year ago. Revenues doubled to an all-time high of nearly 1.3 billion as our customers remained engaged and continue to bring more of their assets to the platform. Trading volumes were up double to triple digits across equities, options, and crypto, and we continue to grow market share across product categories. We're also seeing strong contributions from newer products like prediction markets, index options, and futures. Interest earning assets were up over 50%, driven by strong margin and cash sweep growth. It's great to see margin continuing to hit new highs as we win larger customers and gain market share. And securities lending also hit an all-time high with a strong market backdrop as IPO activity continued to pick up. And Robinhood Gold grew to 3.9 million subscribers. That's over 75% year-over-year growth as we continue to broaden the value proposition, including Robinhood Banking, which is just beginning to roll out. Turning to expenses, Q3 adjusted OpEx and share-based compensation came in at 613 million. It's about 40 million above the midpoint of our prior outlook range. This was driven by two items that are both related to our strong performance. First, stronger year-to-date results led to higher Q3 employee bonus accrual. That is higher for Q3, but also includes a catch-up for the first half of the year. And second, the significant increase in our stock price this year triggered vesting on the remaining tranche of the 2019 CEO market-based award. This resulted in unplanned payroll tax expense in G&A. We are through that award now, so glad you get to go back to your 40,000 a year.
Apologies.
Yeah. Looking ahead to the rest of the year, we're tracking toward full year 2025 adjusted OpEx plus SBC of around 2.28 billion, but it could be higher or lower depending on how the rest of the year plays out. This reflects our strong year-to-date business results, which had us tracking to the top end of our prior outlook range, as well as some increased investment in new growth areas like prediction markets and Robinhood Ventures. I think each of these areas have significant potential for us. And lastly, this also incorporates the cost of Vlad's market-based award, which were not previously included in our outlook. I'll also provide a quick update on the strong results we're seeing so far in Q4, as you may have seen in the release. October was a strong month across the business. We saw continued momentum in net deposits, new records set across equities, options, prediction markets, and margin, and a nice step up in crypto volumes. And before we go to Q&A, I'm sure you saw in the release that I'm going to be retiring next year. I'll transition in Q1 from my operating role into an advisory role and will stay on until September 1st. I'm incredibly happy and proud to share that Shiv Verma will be stepping into the role of CFO. I've worked closely with Shiv these past 7 years, and I've got absolutely complete confidence in him. You're going to find that he's seriously world-class.
At this time, I'd like to invite Shiv Verma to join us up here. Long time no see, Shiv. Okay, first of all, I want to thank Jason for all he's done for Robinhood. He's been an incredible steward of the company, not just the finance team, but the entire company, and is leaving the finance team in a much stronger position than when he joined. Among his many assets, and you guys are obviously familiar with some of them, I would be remiss to not mention that his good looks were a main reason why we wanted to do these earnings on video, which everyone can agree. So I'm sure he'll be missed by this audience as well. I also want to congratulate Shiv. He's been working closely with me for some time now. You guys will increasingly see he's an exceptional operator. He's got a strong track record of not just being lean and disciplined, but also advocating for growth. And I think that balance is critical to so much that we do here. Tomorrow, Shiv celebrates 7 years at Robinhood. So while he's got his hands on nearly everything, he's currently SVP of Finance and Strategy and also our treasurer. So Shiv, welcome. Maybe you'll say a few words as well.
Yeah, thank you, Vlad. I'm so excited and humbled for the opportunity to serve our customers and shareholders. Much appreciation to you, the board, and the entire leadership team for the trust. To Jason, a heartfelt thank you. We joined 6 weeks apart, and we've been on quite the journey together. Many of you know Jason as a fantastic CFO, but he's also an incredible colleague, mentor, and friend. I just want to express my sincere gratitude. For today, I'll keep it short and just want to introduce myself. As Vlad said, I've been here a little over 7 years, and I've seen the company scale from a couple million customers and a few billion assets to now 27 million customers and over 300 billion in assets globally. I work closely with Vlad, Jason, and the entire team. I've gotten to wear a lot of different hats, and as Vlad said today, I lead 4 teams: finance, strategy, corp dev, and treasury. In terms of what to expect, big picture, more of the same. Our top goal is still to grow and to keep delivering for customers, to ship amazing products with high velocity. We also believe in a lean and disciplined culture, and this is personally where I spend a lot of time. We obsess about capital allocation and ROI. We pride ourselves on small teams that can deliver outsized results, and we believe in profitable growth. And lastly, our financial North Star is going to remain the same: grow earnings per share and free cash flow per share and compound long-term shareholder value, plain and simple. So I'm excited to partner with everyone. I'll turn it back to Vlad and Jason and talk about this great quarter.
Thanks, Shiv, and I do look forward to seeing Shiv competing on Jeopardy someday. Chris, why don't we go ahead and take some questions?
All right. Thank you, Jason. For the Q&A session, we'll start by answering shareholder questions from Say Technologies, from shareholders who are joining us on video. And after the Say questions, we'll turn to live questions from our audience and then go to dial-in participants. So I'll kick it off with our first question from Say, which comes from Preston.
Hello, Vlad and Jason. Can you guys see me okay?
We can hear you.
We can hear you well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to ask a question here.
Oh, I
hope
see
you're
you
doing
now.
well.
There you
Hello.
are. Yeah, he's
Hey,
down
guys.
here.
Look at that. He's got the Robinhood logo. Did you
Yeah,
draw
I
that
painted
yourself?
I painted that in class a couple days ago.
Love
Oh,
it.
So, yeah.
awesome.
But I was wondering, how quickly do you expect to roll out Robinhood banking to users?
Yeah, great question. This will be a relatively fast rollout. When you compare banking to the credit card, there's not the same considerations around making sure the economics between the borrowing and the spending are perfectly calibrated. I think banking is a simpler product in that way. And so the rollout will just be governed by customer feedback. We like what we see thus far, and so we're going to continue to roll out. And we expect that if there's no surprises, it should be pretty quick. We've already got customers trying it, including cash delivery available in some markets, and early results are really good. So if you're in the state of New York and have access to banking, you can try it right now.
All right. Thank you, Vlad. The next question is from Huibin. All right, I'll read it. So Wibben's question was, there was a recent AWS related outage. How are you strengthening platform resiliency to address that?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So for those of you that don't recall this, even though pretty much the entire internet was briefly affected, including my kids' elementary school, they couldn't take attendance. AWS had an outage a few weeks back, and that led to degraded app performance for a significant number of our customers. Now, the good news is it actually demonstrates how much progress we've made in the resilience of our systems over the past few years. You know, if this had happened to us like an outage of the infrastructure provider of this magnitude. If it had happened a few years ago, we probably would have been fully down. But we made a lot of investments in that time period. And so even though things were slower and there were higher latencies, a lot of customers could, manage their risk and place orders, although we didn't provide them with the type of experience that we would want. That's for sure. And one thing that you can be assured of is every opportunity, every outage like this, even if it's a third party related, is an opportunity for us to further strengthen our resilience. So we've been hard at work looking at how we could become even better. And that's internally and also in conversations with all of our partners. So this is part and parcel of what we have to do. We want to be our customers' not just primary financial account, but we want to be their secondary financial account as well, which means that we have to continue to be robust.
All right, thank you, Vlad. And let's take one more question from Say on video and see if we can go 2 for 3 here. So the next question is from Griffin.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello. Doing great. Hey Vlad, Jason, and Shiv. Thanks so much for taking the question and really great quarter, first of all. But I wanted to ask around the super app nature and kind of the evolution of Robinhood. So obviously it was started to democratize investing for everyone. And now as you evolve into the full financial kind of ecosystem and also the true super app for the next generation, how do you see this ecosystem maturing? So what products do you think will kind of be the core tie around all of this? And also, how do you see the biggest opportunities for this next generation as everyone's finances get more complex? Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I mean, you're seeing that part of this vision is somewhat predictable in a sense. We have to look at, how does money enter our ecosystem? And of course, we have all of the existing mechanisms, but Robinhood banking, the goal with Robinhood banking is to be the place where our customers deposit their paychecks as well. So that will handle the inflow of money. And, a lot of the assets over time, we do believe will be invested. But the question is, can we minimize the reasons customers have for ever withdrawing money and make it as easy as possible for people to get money in? And over time, there will be new products, new product categories like prediction markets that arise. And we want to use our combination of best-in-class user experience and also economics to make sure we're a big player in everything that customers want to do with their money, not just in the US, but increasingly globally. So it's going to be a combination of getting broader, but also selectively going deeper in areas where we feel like we have competitive advantage.
All right. Thank you, Vlad. That concludes our shareholder questions from Say Technologies. And so now we'll move to Q&A from our live audience. The first question is going to be from Patrick Moley at Piper Sandler.
Yes, thank you for taking the question. For my question, I want to say congratulations to both Jason and Shiv. Jason, really enjoyed working with you. Shiv, looking forward to getting to know you a little better. So I had one on prediction markets. You've obviously become one of the leaders in the space, but there's been a lot of new entrants recently. So I was hoping you could talk about just the strategy there and what you think gives you the right to win long term. And then as a second part to that, can you talk through some of the strategic considerations around maintaining your position today as kind of a retail distribution for the venues versus maybe trying to develop something internally, whether that's organic or inorganically? Thanks.
Yeah. So I think one of the advantages we have entering any market, prediction markets aren't an exception, is that we have distribution and we have lots of customers, 26 million plus funded accounts in the US that are trading and using us for all sorts of things. And from an infrastructure standpoint, we actually have an increasing set of tools that can plug in and are being built to be multi-asset. So not just our mobile app, but increasingly web. We have Robinhood Legend. We have all of these things that that we announced at Hood Summit. And it's really an ecosystem of financial services. And you'll see great integration between all of our platforms and all of our assets and account types, increasingly so in the future. I think when we think about vertical integration, like should we be a market maker or should we be an exchange in any asset? One thing we look at is the vertical integration going to be accretive to us? Is it going to be something that is increasingly commoditized over time? And my feeling for how this is going to evolve in prediction markets, at least, is there's going to be a lot of entrants in the space, a lot of exchanges, and in the same way that across equities and options, customers are well served because there's a wide variety of venues that are competing on cost to offer great execution. I think prediction markets will evolve that way too. And I think in that world, the customer certainly benefits because different DCMs and markets will compete for who offers the lowest cost. And I think the power continues to be in our distribution and offering a wide variety of products and services. I think we're the only ones currently that have this powerful combination of, for traders, not just being able to trade prediction markets, but crypto, options, equities, futures. I think it's a great combination, and there's certain advantages for everything being in one place under a simple, easy-to-use platform. And I think we can keep pressing on that advantage. And as you've noticed, I think the product has continued to evolve at a pretty rapid pace. I think you should expect that to continue and to even accelerate.
All right. Next question from Alex Markgraf from KeyBank.
I don't think so.
All right, I'll keep talking.
There it is. There we go.
Thanks, everyone. Jason, Shiv, congrats. Maybe, Jason, one on crypto, the crypto business for a second. Just want to understand better as you've moved through the third quarter and early part of the fourth quarter, the mix of smart exchange routing and how that's sort of factored into the numbers that we're seeing.
Yeah, so the blended take rate's kind of in the high 60 cent zone, and we are liking what we're seeing for smart exchange routing. Really robust interest by customers, and the take rate that we're seeing so far and into Q4 is kind of in the same zone. We'll have to watch how the mix plays out, but we like what we're seeing from customers. They're bringing more when they select smart exchange routing. They're bringing more of their trading volume to Robinhood. So we feel really good about the offering that we have.
Yeah, and I would just add one thing there. It's a big step towards pricing being a little bit more personalized, right? And what we had before, a lot of people asked us, well, your take rate is so much lower across the board. Can you raise your take rate? But I think the real story is a little bit more complex than that because, certainly if you're an active trader, you're trading huge volumes, you're able to use advanced offerings on exchanges. And in the past, we didn't have tools to offer those customers who we might not have been super competitive for lower take rates. And that's what smart exchange routing really unlocks for us. For those that are super active and bringing a ton of volume, almost like prosumer traders, which we're seeing more of now that we've got Robinhood Legend. Can we make Robinhood a no-brainer for them? And we've seen more and more of those customers choosing us and coming in here after smart exchange routing, which is very exciting because that's just a customer segment that we felt we were underpenetrated with.
All right. The next question is from Devin Ryan from Citizens. And if you want to ask a question after Devin, please put your hand up as he's wrapping up.
Thanks, Chris. Vlad, Jason, Shiv, and Shiv, welcome to the call. I know you've been a big part of the story already, so kind of welcome to the stage here, and Jason, to you as well. The success to date and the best practices you put in place. It really put the firm on strong footing. So congratulations.
Thanks, Devin.
Question on private markets. Demand and activity that we're tracking is recovering. Last week, Morgan Stanley announced the acquisition of EquityZen. I know there can be some barriers with accredited investors. Maybe that makes it a little bit complicated, but can you just talk about whether there's demand from your customer base, and especially as companies stay private longer, just and a lot of the values created in the private markets, it would seem like Robinhood's in a great position to both be a trading hub and help create liquidity in the system, but then also maybe even in primary capital for private markets. So the question is just whether there's an increasing interest in private markets, if there's a plan there to do more. I know it connects to tokenization as well, and also if M&A would make sense there as well. Thanks.
Yeah, maybe I'll start, but Shiv's also been working on the Robinhood Ventures front, so maybe I'll ask him to say a few words as well. Look, I think private markets are a huge opportunity, and just let's focus on the U.S. perhaps first, because that's where we have the largest portion of our business, although international with tokenization provides some interesting opportunities as well. In the U.S., I think it's one of the biggest iniquities that we think is part of our mission to help resolve. You mentioned yourself, you have a lot of these companies that are staying private longer. They're avoiding the public markets. They're private in valuations of, hundreds of billions now, right? So, and if you want access to the AI innovation economy or space technologies, you don't have a ton of pure play public companies to select from. So we think it's a bigger problem, particularly as these technologies have so much potential to upend the lives of retail consumers. Giving access to that is a big part of it. A few years ago, we rolled out IPO access, and I would say that at first, people were kind of skeptical about it, right? Like we would have to really work hard to get companies to be interested to give retail IPO allocations. And recently, pretty much every company that's notable that's thinking about going public comes to us, talks to us about their retail engagement strategy. And now they're looking at, how do we engage retail better? Earnings calls, not just shareholder Q&A, but doing, making earnings more compelling so that retail wants to actually watch and participate and learn as well. And we've noticed the allocations to retail going up in public companies, public IPOs, which we've been very happy about. And I think that's a trend that's going to continue. And we want to do that at earlier stage. And I think that's really the thesis behind Robinhood Ventures. And we found a way to do it, we believe, unaccredited. And maybe Shiv can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we've been working on this for a while, and we're super excited. In terms of the demand, when we talk to customers, it's one of the top things they want. They want access to these best-in-class technology companies that they use and love. And when you ask them, there's three big things they want. First, it's daily liquidity. Second, not to be accredited. 85% of Americans aren't accredited today, so they get left out. And third, more concentrated portfolios. They want access, again, the names they love. And so when we designed the product, that was our main use case. How do we do that? And we think we found a great way to do that. We're on a file with the SEC for Robinhood Ventures 1. We're in the quiet period, so we can't say too much more there. But we think this vehicle will be great and expect pretty strong customer demand. And then the other thing we're working on is how do you make it great for companies? Because you need both the customers, but also the companies. And so we're trying to think what's the best way to partner and innovate with these customers and companies as well and have some really great traction there. So we're excited to share more about the fund in the coming months. But as Vlad said, this is just fund one and just the start. Our ambitions in the space are pretty large.
All right. The next question is going to come from Jeff John Roberts from Fortune.
Hi guys, my question is about tokenized equities, which seem to be the future and they seem very cool. But I'm curious, when do you think they're going to scale, Vlad? And also what implications they might have for Robinhood's revenue when it comes to payment for order flow or otherwise? Thank you.
Yeah, great to see you, by the way. I forgot to mention we have some folks from the media joining us today, too. So thanks for the question. So tokenized equities, as you might remember from the event in France, there's 3 phases to the rollout, and we're still in phase 1, but we're really ramping up the number of tokens available on the platform. So we're now up over 400 available. And I think that makes us the largest in terms of selection. I think the largest, maybe one of the largest at the very least. But I think where it really starts to get interesting is phase 2 and phase 3, which is them available for secondary trading on Bitstamp, and then eventually them being on DeFi, where the possibilities really start to multiply. You start thinking about self-custody, collateralized lending and borrowing, which we think could be very, very disruptive as well. Currently, the model is just foreign exchange in the EU. Yeah, we take a relatively low, simple foreign exchange fee for tokens, and actually, we're pretty happy with that. I think that that's 10 basis points, if I'm not mistaken, which is actually slightly higher than what we would be foregoing with payment for order flow.
All right, the next question in the front row.
Thanks for taking the question. Vlad, this is for you. Anyone who's had the pleasure of being an investor or customer over the last many years, I think has seen an incredibly inspirational change in product execution pace. I'm curious to understand from you guys, what have been the contributing factors there? How do you see that maintaining or increasing over the coming years? But really incredible job, and it's so fun to be a customer.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that. I think that we've grown as a company, and you know, I think it's easy to sort of like dismiss what happened during COVID as, you know, we were sort of like too bloated and got too big and got away from us. But I think a lot of what we did actually was we built the foundation for the company subsequent to that. So we brought great people into the company, and I think we realized, well, we realized that, you know, we had to ask ourselves serious questions about what kind of culture we wanted, what we wanted to be. Did we want to ship fast? And I think that set the foundation both infrastructurally and from a people standpoint to the product velocity that you see now. So I think we obviously had to make some tough decisions, getting fit. I think we've also, I think this is sort of underreported. I think a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but we were pretty early to adopt AI and actually like drive that through the organization, particularly in the areas where we think there's maximum impact, customer service and engineering, where we actually, I believe, are best in class in our industry. So you'll hear more about that at the AI event, but I think that, you know, there's not a lot said about that because we're not a foundation model company, but I think we're right up there leading the financial services industry with how we're deploying it at scale.
Two things that I would add, which I think both relate to speed of decision making. We made the change to a general manager model. And I think having leaders over their specific business owning goals and driving against their milestones helped us move faster. The second piece was alignment on what our financial tenets were around kind of what the ROI and other financial guardrails are, and just getting a complete alignment across the teams that build and the teams that support on what those hurdles are and what those requirements are. Allowed us to move even faster once there was alignment on that. So, so those are two aspects that I think help us move faster.
All right. Yes, and also in the front row.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Cryptocurrency related products and revenue have been an important part of Robinhood's growth story. What are your thoughts on adopting Bitcoin or other digital assets as part of your corporate treasury strategy?
Shiv, what do you think about that one?
So we spent a lot of time thinking about this. We like alignment with the community. We are a big player in crypto. We want to keep doing it. We like that our customers are engaged in it. What we always try to figure out is it the right thing for shareholders as well? If you put it on your balance sheet, it has the positives and that you're aligned with the community, but it does take up capital. Our shareholders can also go and buy Bitcoin directly on Robinhood, and so are we making that decision for them? And is it the best use of our capital? There's a lot of different things you're doing, from new products for growth, investing in engineering. So we have this debate constantly, and I think the short answer is we're still thinking about it. There's pros and cons to both of it, and it's one that we're going to keep actively looking at.
All right. Before we move to the virtual queue, are there any other questions from folks in person? All right. Now to the dial-in community. All right. So for those who are dialing in, please press *11 on your phone to enter the queue. And if you'd like to remove yourself from the queue, please press *11 again. So the first question is from James Yarrow at Goldman Sachs. All right, we don't have James at the moment, so we'll go to the next question. And James, jump back in if you can hear us. All right, so the next question is from Ben Budish at Barclays. All right, well, in the meantime, while we work to connect with our virtual community, Alex Margraf, do you have another question? All right, let's get Alex and Mike. Shiv, do you want to share any more about yourself while we're waiting?
I think we're getting Alex and Mike, so we're in good shape.
Yeah. Thanks for your patience as we work through.
Thanks. Vlad, you mentioned the wealth transfer in your prepared remarks, and I'd just be curious to get your thoughts as to, in that sort of longer arc opportunity, where we are today, and then Jason or Shiv, maybe just thinking about the contribution to growth. Again, sort of a longer term question, but when we think about the contribution to growth from the wealth transfer, how should we sort of think about that over a 5-10 year arc?
Yeah, maybe I'll start with some of the things we're thinking about on the product side. We've been really thinking about how to make Robinhood more useful for you, the more of your family is on it. So, and you see this with credit card and now the banking offering. Like, the product is really a family product. Family is a first-class experience. You can get, your partner a credit card or a bank account. We make it really easy to create accounts for children and other household staff as well. And a lot of people have been using it as like a family financial hub. And I think you should expect that to be broader and deeper across the entire ecosystem. You guys might probably recognize, even though we've added a bunch of account types to the product, a few years ago, Robinhood just used to be a single individual brokerage account. We didn't even have retirement accounts. Now you have retirement accounts. You can have recently launched up to 10 custom individual brokerage accounts, which people have been really loving. But we still have a ways to go. We don't have trusts. We don't have custodial. But we think that's an opportunity to continue to both get people when they're younger, but also, when customers get wealthier, they tend to start diversifying, putting things into trust. So we see that as an opportunity as well. And I think this is an area where trade PMR is also going to become increasingly important as we work to integrate that platform, particularly as financial needs become a little bit more complicated. Having a person there to help you navigate the entire thing and give a little bit more customized advice, I think will be a great complement to our suite of digital services. So over the next year, you'll see a lot more. We're attacking this problem and this huge, $100+ trillion opportunity from multiple angles. And I don't think it's on the radar of a lot of our competitors. I mean, you don't hear about people designing with the whole family in mind. And I think that's a big opportunity for us to differentiate.
Stepping back, we've been winning market share really across every category that we're in. And I think, as we execute against the vision that Vlad was sharing, we're positioned to take an outsized share of that, of the wealth transfer.
All right. The next question I'm going to read on behalf of James Yarrow from Goldman Sachs. We are seeing tokenization across Robinhood and other firms, and your tokenized equities product and those of peers are not interoperable, as they are slightly differently structured and on different blockchains in many cases. Does this result in fragmentation of liquidity across the equity market? How do you expect this market to develop, and how would you make these tokenized stocks interoperable?
Yeah, I can field that one. So right now, certainly Robinhood stock tokens are not as interoperable as we would like, but that's just because they're actually not on DeFi yet. So they're very much in the Robinhood walled garden, which has certain advantages. Right now, every trade that a customer does is backed by a traditional equities trade in a TradFi market. And as we continue to build up the liquidity and the collection of and the supply of tokens, I think that's going to lead to actually a really great initial customer experience. Over time, I do expect greater interoperability. As you've seen with other assets in the crypto world, even if they're on other chains, the community tends to get involved and build bridges and wrappers. And so I think that's less of a concern. I think every major tokenized asset will eventually end up being multi-chain. So it's just a question of how do we get there. But interoperability, not a huge concern. I think it will come. In terms of liquidity fragmentation, I mean, that's nothing new, especially if you look at it on a global level across all asset classes. There's multiple exchanges, there are multiple market makers involved. And, this is something that they know how to deal with, managing liquidity and trading across different venues. And I think in some ways, crypto technology and infrastructure makes that a somewhat easier problem, because the cost and complexity of integration from an engineering standpoint tends to be much simpler.
All right. Thank you, Vlad. The next question is for Jason, and it's from Ben Budish at Barclays. I'll read it on his behalf. You've called out a number of cost items impacting this year, some of which it sounds like won't recur. How should we think about the run rate into 2026?
Yeah, so we're working through planning right now for 2026, but what I would tell you is that we're approaching it the same way that we've approached the last couple of years, which is we think that we can invest for growth while delivering profitable growth, meaning margin expansion. The way that we approach that is that, we ask the existing businesses to find efficiencies. And when we set targets and build our plans, we ask them to grow their cost base in the low single digits, and in some cases even lower. And we use those savings then to reinvest into growth, things like increasing spend in marketing, which we love the ROI efficiency of our marketing spend, but then also investing in new businesses. And you see the kind of outcomes that we've been able to deliver the last couple of years in terms of fast revenue growth and relatively more modest expense growth. And that's the approach that we're taking right now as we plan for 2026.
All right. Thank you, Jason. We're going to take another shot at going to the live phone queue. All right. So the next question is from Brian Bedell at Deutsche Bank.
Great. Thanks. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you.
The telephone works.
Excellent. All right, the old-fashioned TradFi telephone.
Yes.
Finally work. Well, I just want to say first of all, congrats, Jason, on retirement.
Thank you.
It's been great working with you, and welcome, Shiv. Looking forward to working with you as well. Maybe my question will go to prediction markets. So maybe if you can just talk about how the customer behavior has been forming just in the last 2 months. We've seen a big increase in volume, obviously in September with the NFL and college games added. And how are you seeing that maybe sort of shape in coming into October? Or are you seeing that volume increase coming from more new users coming into the prediction markets, or rather greater usage of existing users? And then if you can talk about maybe just your thoughts around timeline of launching new contracts and potentially even weaving in things around maybe single stocks that active traders can start using.
Yeah, I can start. We are working on this. We've actually increased the diversity of the contracts we offer tremendously in the past few weeks, launching entirely new categories. I mean, recently, lots of new entertainment and culture markets. You've seen us broaden out the technology markets as well. So now we're offering over 1,000 live event contracts for customers to trade. We're seeing a lot of adoption. It might not be surprised because we have such a large established customer base, a lot of adoption from existing users, particularly traders, but we're seeing new customers as well. So there's customers that join Robinhood because they want access to our prediction markets offering. And I think there's plenty more we could do, not just increasing contract diversity, but making the user experience better, making it a little bit more discoverable in the product. And the team continues to work hard. You should see the product continue to improve week over week.
Much like our active trader offering, a relatively smaller portion of our customers are participating in the market. And I think as we continue to work on the user interface and discoverability of the product, we've got expectation that we can take that higher.
All right, thank you. The next question is from Dan Doloff at Mizuho.
Hey guys, great job again on an outstanding quarter. Wanted to
Thank
you, Jason. It was welcome, and thank you, Jason. It was a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to working with you, Shiv. And my question for you, Vlad, is Bitstamp's very, very strong. I think over 60% growth quarter over quarter. This seems incredibly strategic to Robinhood. Can you maybe elaborate on the long-term strategic importance of this? Because it seems to be off to a great start. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually, it was, we've had the pleasure, the Bitstamp team on the engineering side is actually at our offices. So we got to hang out with a lot of them yesterday with Johan and really talk through, what's our plan for next year. And you're right that we've had, pretty tremendous success growing volumes and, improving the product post-acquisition. But we definitely aren't getting complacent. We're not slowing down. We see a huge opportunity. I think Bitstamp can be very key to our tokenization plans as we enter phase 2 of our tokenization vision. We really want to lean in there and give people access to real assets that have fundamental utility on the platform. It's also our first institutional business. And, the one thing I really appreciate with institutional customers is they have lots of choices for where they take their business, and they're definitely not shy about telling us all of the things that we do that we need to do better, which there are a lot of, believe it or not. I think there's so many things that we hear from our institutional customers. So we're going to have a busy year, and I think that as we continue to be successful and build more things, I think we'll see that volumes and market shares will follow.
All right, thank you. The
And
next
Johan's very nervous watching me say all this.
All right, the next question is from Brett Knobloch at Cantor.
Perfect. Hey guys, congrats on the quarter. Thank you for taking my question. On the Robinhood Social, could you maybe just dive into that a bit deeper, and when you expect for that to roll out, and how you expect maybe users to begin using that, and how the should impact maybe financials, and when you would expect it to impact financials going forward?
Yeah, I think this is something where it may be somewhat challenging to forecast precisely the impact, because the way we see it is this is going to be a new source of information for customers. It'll be a source of trading ideas. We really want the product to be great, and we think that it can be just a source of information. We think we can be the place where a lot of business and financial related discussion can happen and hopefully originate. And we've done some experiments with social features over the years, and we have seen that when executed properly, and I think we're being very thoughtful with how to make sure all of the content is high quality. Of course, with verification of traders, we have an advantage there. We think it can be an engaging product that makes Robinhood not just useful when you have an idea that you want to trade on, but it can be actually where your ideas originate, which I think is a big opportunity, because it allows us to close the loop. And if the ideas come from Robinhood and we're the place where they execute on the trades, the platform just becomes more powerful, and that power and the network effect will continue as we continue to roll out more assets. I think we're going to be the only place where you're going to have live verified trades across not just equities, options, and crypto, but also prediction markets and futures. And so the diversity of content, I think, should be quite compelling for folks that are interested in business and finance.
In terms of monetization, we really see this as an opportunity to spin the flywheel, attract more customers to the platform because of the rich social experience, and then be able to capture a greater share of trading activity and other financial activities across the platform.
All right. Next question is from Ed Engel at Compass Point.
Hi, thanks for taking the question. You talked about aspirations outside the U.S. I think you guys talked about over half of, hopefully one day, your user base will be outside the U.S. How does M&A play into that strategy? And can we expect you to kind of continue kind of launching market by market, or could there be an opportunity to kind of launch in a couple markets simultaneously given a bigger transaction? Thanks.
Over time, I think it's probably a mix. I mean, we naturally gravitate towards organic growth, and you're seeing examples of that, for example, in the UK. But we do have an active corp dev team. Actually, Shiv has been leading that for some time now. And when deals make sense for us, great team, great technology, ability to accelerate the roadmap. We don't shy away from those kinds of opportunities as well.
Okay. The next question is from Steven Chubak at Wolf.
Thanks, Chris, and congrats, Jason and Shiv. Wanted to start with a question just on the international strategy and the growth that you've seen thus far. I was hoping to get some perspective, Vlad, in terms of how that growth is tracking relative to plan. Is there more that you can do in terms of product deployment and innovation to maybe help accelerate that growth? Just hasn't gotten as much airplay as like some of the other opportunities. So I was hoping you can unpack that a little bit further.
Yeah, I think it's still early in our international plan. That's why when we talk about this opportunity, it's really a 10-year vision, because unlike the US, when we expand into these markets, we don't have an existing established customer base to cross-sell into. But we're really seeing signs that we like, and so we've continued to invest even more. Cohort activity, both in the UK and the EU, has been improving, and that's actually led us to start doing marketing initiatives because we're starting to see like real ROIs to marketing activity as revenue goes online. In the EU, with the To Catch a Token event just a few months ago, we launched in 30 countries with stock tokens, which we're really excited about. I mean, you've seen that ramp up, but again, it was a couple of months ago, so not much time has passed. So I think this is one of those things where, 5-10 years from now, we'll look back and we'll say, man, we underestimated the growth of that business, as we tend to do with things that are early. But we like the early signs, and we're continuing to increase our investment. And there's so much to build. I mean, even I mentioned with tokenization, we're still just in phase one. So I think over time, it'll become clear how those products actually have significant advantages over what you might find elsewhere.
All right, thank you. The next question is from Amit. Amit, it is investing.
Hey, Vlad. Hey, Jason. Thank you guys for taking my question, and a big thank you, Jason, over the years on your execution, and congrats to you, Shiv, on your new role. My question is for you, Vlad. Going back to tokenization, you recently said tokenization will eat the broader financial system. Outside of just tokenized equities, can you give us a more larger look on how big of a size the opportunity is, why right now is the time to go after it, and what Robinhood is really thinking about over the next couple of years in terms of taking advantage of the opportunity? I know there's a lot of different other assets besides equities that could be tokenized. So can you just speak a little bit more on how you guys are thinking of the opportunity?
Yeah, I think the opportunity is very exciting. One of the things that I think is both a problem and an opportunity with traditional crypto is that crypto and the traditional financial system, up until fairly recently, have kind of been two separate worlds. And I think Robinhood has a unique position as a scaled crypto business, but also a scaled business in traditional finance to bridge the two and actually make room for what we consider traditional assets, but really things like securities, products with real fundamental utility to leverage blockchain technology and actually be tradable on-chain, where customers can self-custody, they can engage with a variety of protocols, collateralized borrowing and lending, and where those assets can be traded 24/7, real-time, and fractional quantities. You've obviously seen some efforts in private companies in the EU with our OpenAI and SpaceX token giveaways there. So I think we're really interested in continuing to pull on that and making those products available to customers. The other opportunities that I'm personally excited about is real estate, private credit, unique assets and collectibles like art. If you think about, what's a part of your portfolio, if you're a high net worth individual, there's a lot of these assets that actually retail can't access currently. And I think that tokenization is a way to enable that at scale and sort of like reduce some of the downsides that would typically be associated with holding those assets, like lack of liquidity, being locked into positions, not being able to like chunk the assets out and invest in portions of them. So that's why we're continuing to push on it, both in the US and outside. And you should expect this to become bigger and bigger in the coming years. Of course, starting with stocks, which is the asset class that we think has the most potential and we're also closest to.
Okay, thank you, Vlad. The next question is from Roy from Crossroads.
Thanks for taking my question, and huge congratulations to Jason and also Shiv. internationally, even alongside or even ahead of its current trading expansion plans?
Good question. You want to
Yeah.
field it?
Yeah, I mean, sure. The volumes that we're showing are the volumes that are on Robinhood. I'm sure Kalshi is counting the activity that we send to them, which is quite substantial. And for contracts that we offer, I think a very large chunk of Kalshi's volume is actually coming from Robinhood. In terms of international, Vlad, I'll let you cover that one.
Yeah, we're definitely looking into it closely. And you talk about tokenization as some of the previous callers have brought up. Prediction markets is another asset class that actually has a strong crypto component, particularly outside the U.S. So we're definitely taking a look at what's the most effective way to get that to our customers. And I think it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, maybe slightly different in each jurisdiction, but we have some options, as a scaled traditional play.
On shorting.
Testing, it's actually not yet rolled out to external customers. So we think people will love it, but too early to tell. And I guess to answer your question, no, I mean, I don't think the increase in margin usage has been in anticipation of shorting because it's just not yet available.
Okay, thank you. The next question is from Tanner with Future Investing.
Hey guys, first
Tanner?
off, I just wanted to start off with a, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can
hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. With a crypto question around crypto staking on the Robinhood platform so far, if there's any insights there. And then also just maybe a small request, if you guys are open to publishing event contracts volume on their monthly metrics updates going forward. That's it.
On the amount staked, I think we exited the quarter at about $1 billion. The market's been pretty volatile over the last few days, so I think it's come down a little bit. But customers are responding very well to the ability to stake.
And what about the event contracts volume published in monthly metrics?
Yeah, I'll leave that with Shiv as something to consider. I don't want to promise that for him, but we do like, in all seriousness, being as transparent as possible for investors, and we're always looking at ways to provide incremental disclosure to help you understand the business. So that's something we'll look at.
Yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
All right, that is the last question from our virtual queue. Is there anybody else in the audience here who didn't get to ask a question earlier that wants to ask a question?
Perhaps
Not
one
Dan-
of the
not Dan
virtual.
Gallagher.
No.
No. All right. Well, then I think let's pass it back to you, Vlad.
Okay, I think you guys should know that we are not slowing down. The team remains incredibly excited to continue our mission, and there's so much to do. Roadmap is full. AI event is coming up, which I think will be very, very exciting. So hopefully some of you will be able to join us there, at least virtually. And to commemorate this occasion, bittersweet though it might be, I've learned that Jason has a favorite dessert. And so we've actually brought one here, and Jason wanted to share this with everyone in person and virtually, vicariously. A baked Alaska.
You all wonder why I'm retiring.
Unfortunately, they wouldn't let us light it here, even though that would have been very cool. So
It looks incredible. It's the first time I've ever had it. Actually, Growing up, my favorite was lemon meringue pie, and this brings back fond memories. So, and underneath, I anticipate there's ice cream, which is my favorite
I
dessert.
wish they
so.
gave me the lighter and I just
Yeah.
like tried unsuccessfully to light it. But
Fabulous. Well,
yeah.
thank you, and I appreciate all the kind words of encouragement, and I do believe we're leaving the company in an incredible position, and I think you're gonna find in short order that Shiv is, if not an upgrade, equally as good at driving the company forward. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll see if he can finish an entire one of these. It looks like there's one for each of us up here.
We'll bring some of the team to help with that up.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Beautiful. Those look quite good. Let's see what it does.